All right, so this one is, do you support term limits for members of Congress? And if so, what limitations would you support?
I do. I'm a firm believer in term limits. I believe that first and foremost, we need to reinvigorate the trust in our national government. The first step in doing that is to impose term limits. I believe that no more than 4 terms as a U.S. House representative is adequate to get your job done in Congress, and also it adds diversity and new ideas in cyclical areas. I also believe in 2 terms for a U.S. sitting senator. So I would support a constitutional amendment imposing term limits in those terms. Thank you.
I absolutely do believe in term limits. It is a elected representative's job to represent the people of their district in Washington, D.C. It's not their job to represent Washington, D.C. in their district. And so often we have career politicians who are in office for decade after decade after decade after decade. You know, if a career politician who's been in office for 40 or 50 years was the answer, then why is Joe Biden kind of ruining the country? Asking for a friend. So we need term limits, absolutely. And I'm very much open to the discussion of making that happen. And I think it has to happen. And so I'm 100% behind those. And I think that legislators need to remember that so often if legislators are just hanging out in Washington, D.C. all the time, hanging out in their cliques, they lose connection with the everyday people who are just simply trying to pay their bills, put food on the table, create an educational opportunity for their children. So we need to make sure we get elected representatives who are just like everyday Americans, not like Washington elites. Thank you.
I signed the pledge for the term limits, which said that if I got to office, that I would support even my own term limits. And I'm 100% behind that. My daughter, my campaign manager, she witnessed the signature and we sent it through because I think it is important. And the reason why it is so important is because you do have, once you get into politics for a while, you know, there's more of a chance that you're going to be disconnected with your district and with the state. And I think that candidates like myself that run, you know, for the right reasons and, you know, from a grassroots perspective, we have the country and our state and our districts in mind, and we're caring for that district at the time. And not all of us, because I can tell you I'm very ethical and I don't believe that I would ever do this, but at times, you know, we get called away from our district and we get more inclined to, you know, be in the Washington circles.